Julia Trubkina and Brandon Gibbs are one 90-Day Fiancé franchise couple who have made a big impression despite appearing in only 2 seasons, as they had many memorable moments. They first appeared on 90 Day Fiancé Season 8, before returning for the following season of 90 Day Fiancé, Happily Ever After, Season 6. The franchise couple has experienced a number of significant moments throughout these 2 appearances. Julia and Brandon started their 90 Day Fiancé franchise journey when Russian dancer Julia joined small-town American man Brandon in Dinwiddie, Virginia. The two met when a friend FaceTimed Brandon from abroad, and he saw Julia, a former go-go dancer, dancing in the background. This led to them falling in love and applying for a K-1 visa. While Julia and Brandon are still married in 2023, they haven't always had the easiest journey in the 90 Day Fiancé franchise. Brandon's parents make Julia work on the farm. One of the most memorable aspects of Julia and Brandon's 90 Day Fiancé franchise run is when Julia was seemingly forced to work on her in-laws' farm. City girl Julia was horrified when she arrived at Brandon's family farm and discovered she had to do work outside. However, it was later revealed that Julia willingly took on farm duties that Brandon had in order to spend more time with him. For a while, Brandon's parents Betty and Ron Gibbs were made out to be villains. Brandon-Julia break hot tub rules. Brandon and Julia became infamous in the 90 Day Fiancé franchise when they broke Betty's hot tub rules. Betty infamously had many rules about the hot tub, such as that it had to be used for strictly non-recreational purposes, and no dyes could be mixed in it. Brandon's mom accused he and Julia of wearing clothes in the hot tub and leaving it cloudy, in a very memorable scene. Julia-Betty clash over Mother's Day wedding date. Another infamous 90 Day Fiancé franchise moment that occurred for Brandon and Julia was when Julia and Betty clashed over what day Brandon and Julia should get married. Since Julia was in the US on her K-1 visa, she only had 90 days to tie the knot. However, Betty was horrified when Julia wanted to get married on Mother's Day weekend. Betty accused Julia of trying to steal her special day from her. Julia gets jealous over Brandon's female friend Melanie. Brandon and Julia had tension with each other when Julia became enraged over Brandon being friends with his female friend Melanie. To be fair, Melanie did seem rather possessive over Brandon, even though she had a boyfriend. However, Julia acted out aggressively when the 4 of them went out to eat. She showed her jealous and possessive side in the scene, though Melanie wasn't very kind to the foreign woman. Brandon-Julia's wedding. A highlight of Brandon and Julia's relationship was their wedding. Brandon and Julia tied the knot at the end of 90 Day Fiancé Season 8 in a simple, yet heartfelt moment. Julia's family unfortunately couldn't be present for the wedding, though Betty and Ron were. Brandon and Julia's wedding marked a big moment in their relationship, even though they were still living on the family farm. Brandon-Julia go house hunting. Brandon and Julia hit a milestone in the 90 Day Fiancé franchise when they decided to move out from his parents' farm. Julia memorably wasn't happy about living on the farm, as Brandon's parents had many rules. She originally wanted to move to a big city in the United States such as Miami. However, she eventually agreed to move somewhere more affordable in Virginia that still allowed her and Brandon to have some space away from his mother and father to start their own life together. Brandon tells his parents he's moving out. Brandon and Julia had a tense moment in the 90 Day Fiancé franchise when Brandon told his parents they were leaving the farm. Betty established herself a franchise smother mother, as she always wanted to be involved in Brandon's life and feared she was losing him to Julia. However, Betty and Ron eventually accepted that their adult son was moving out. Fortunately, Brandon and Julia still visit the farm often and help out. Julia's dogs even lived on the farm with her in-laws, as she shared she didn't have enough room where she lives with Brandon. Julia's various job interviews. Julia became a 90 Day Fiancé franchise meme when she auditioned for multiple jobs in the United States on Happily Ever After. Julia infamously went to audition for a job at a fitness club, but instead performed more of a strip club dance, as she arrived with heels. The stuntman interviewing her memorably looked on in shock as Julia performed her risque dance routine for him and failed to land a job at the time. Julia's green card doesn't get approved. Julia experienced a public scare on social media when the 90 Day Fiancé franchise star didn't have her green card approved. She shared that she was facing deportation due to her immigration status in 2022. To make things worse, Julia was robbed and had her legal documents stolen. This prevented her from traveling to Russia at the time to see her family. Julia opened up about her legal issues and homesickness to her Instagram followers. Brandon Julia's wedding celebration is combined with Ron's 70th. Julia and Brandon had another difficult moment in the 90 Day Fiancé franchise when their wedding celebration was combined with Ron's 70th birthday. This marked a major setback for the couple and Brandon's parents, as they were offended and didn't want the attention on their wedding anymore. However, Julia, Brandon, Betty, and Ron now all appear to be a happy group of family members. The foursome enjoys creating content together that they share with 90 Day Fiancé franchise fans.
Love and